It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And this week, we had Spider-Man Day, which I didn't know was a thing. Caught me off guard.
Neither did I.
They just made it up. But it brings Tom Holland back as the web swinger in a few suits. And pretty much all our news this week was Spider-Man. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show when we get there. Teens Titans gets pushed back. The movie, womp, womp. Probably to do more episodes of Teen Titans Go because that show has no right to be as good as it is, Mike. But somehow they pull it off every time they do. Eyes of Wakanda drops on Disney Plus, or it did drop, I guess, on Friday on Disney Plus, and more.
Chris, I've noticed. I'm curious if you feel this way over in your part of the country.
Yes. Wait.
Does August ever?
To?
Does August ever kind of feel like this no man's land on the calendar? Because I'm experiencing it right now, where I feel like everybody is like waiting for the social permission to indulge in like fall and autumn, right? But I feel like they can't do it until September, and I feel like September is already like way too early. But like they just need September 1st to land on the calendar. And August also, you'll get these like random like triple digit heats, like no matter where you are, I feel like in the United States. But also like it's kind of summer's already over because it's back to school season. So if you are a kid yourself or if you have kids in the school system, like you're kind of dealing with all that right now. So it's just we're in this like transition period. I feel like that has kind of also like marked with the stuff that we've been talking about on the show. Like we got our big summer superhero movies out of the way. I feel like the next big film release isn't going to be till towards the end of the year. Obviously, there'll be stuff in the middle that's worth watching. But like I find myself, I'm craving autumn. I'm craving fall, which is something we don't really get too often here in the Valley in Southern California. But like I feel like I'm waiting to let myself enjoy anything. How do you feel about this month of August?
Buddy, I'll tell you what, I just got back from a GenCon, and I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone next weekend. But I agree with you. My wife is a teacher, so obviously we operate around the school schedule even without kids here, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I should have included that.
Yes, so school does start this coming week. Thankfully, we had a heat break in this week when I went to GenCon. Wednesday was triple digits. Thursday was like maybe got to 80 as a high. It was beautiful. It was a great time to do that. So you never know what you're getting. I had a lot of people visit in July, a lot of stuff going on, but like August is like August and honestly September for me are like a no man's land. Like it could be one thing, could be another, kind of going down the road. But I literally don't even want to. I barely realized it's August, even that was Friday, let alone trying to think what I'm doing in a couple weeks. But I could use this window of time off, if I'm going to be completely honest, to really just discover myself, really find what I'm about before we get into fall.
Well, apparently what you're about is teaching people how to play games at GenCon.
Yes.
Which I think we talked about it a little bit last week, that you were going to be at GenCon in Indianapolis, which, if I remember my lore correctly, GenCon is named because it was initially started in a city called Geneva, Wisconsin.
That is correct.
Right?
You are correct.
And then it just got shortened to Gen Con, and then it found its home in Indy. I always thought Gen Con was like one of those rotating cons that just went all around the country. But it's just always in Indy, which is conveniently located for you.
It's very conveniently located for me. It's I also found out it's renewed through Indianapolis through 2030 as well. So they do lock it down. I could see, we did talk, the people I go with, they are very much, I am a noob when it comes to Gen Con. This is my second one, last year. The professionals I stay with and hang out with, they also pitched it like they could see like Gen Con not moving, but doing like a Gen Con West or GenCon like East, like a different variation, because this one is like so centralized. It brings a lot of people who aren't on the coast, right? Like San Diego or like SDCC or New York Comic Con. Those are already in big cities. They're gonna have big crowds. This is a unique situation for that, which is really, really cool. So, yes, GenCon, the Geneva Convention, which sounds weird saying it like that, if you know your history, but that's what GenCon, huge event. I was very thankful, very lucky, to Asmodee, ASMADI. So a lot of people thought it was another company called Asmodee, which is a bigger company, but it's Asmodee Games, to let me come and work at the booth. I spent every day demoing a game called Mystic Curling Club, which is essentially a dice sliding rolling dexterity game. Mike, if you're familiar with curling or maybe shuffleboard, you try to get your dice on the other end.
That's so funny. They turned the game of that's a funny premise.
Yeah, it was really cool because like it's very simple to get into. The scoring is the hardest part, but every character you have on turns 4, 5, and 6 have a mission or have a special stone that activates if you meet certain conditions. And then if you do that, they have a deck of cards that actually refreshes that, so you get a new condition to meet on the next round for that, which is really fun. So 2-player games is great. 3-player games were awesome. 4-player games are pure chaos, and I loved it, Mike. Like I love, because at the end of the day, the game is to get your die to the closest to the center, right? Like curling is. And a lot of people were just like, I'm just gonna yeet my dice and knock everyone else's off as much as I can. If I can't win, nobody can win, kind of deal. So it was really fun, and I was thankful that they are going to Kickstarter in October, so I will be probably sharing that again with here so people can see what it's about. We had a lot of actual curling clubs show up, and which was really cool to see, like people like, oh, a game representing a sport I'm into, was really fun to see those people turn out. And then also one of the other companies I'm a big fan of, Mike, I've talked about them before, talk about it again, is Teburu, which is an NFC tabletop game board that you put
Yep. You're ludicrously I would say do I want to say expensive if it's worth it? Pricey, yeah.
So it's essentially the initial cost is heavy on the one I have, which is the Bad Karmas, which is a boss battler. Use an iPad. The iPad or device, electronic device, is the brains, and then your devices also keep track of your characters. It does all the rules and math for you, so you're not trying to get your pen and paper out and do all the math while you're playing. It also controls the boss, so you're not lost in like, oh, am I the hero this turn? Am I the boss this turn? It's awesome. I really like it. They have a new version coming out. It's in Game Found, which is like a Kickstarter right now, for Sword and Sorcery, which is D&D style, and I got to demo that and interview some of the developers who make the game. And if I had more of a voice and wasn't like absolutely run down from being at GenCon all week, I'd do more. But I plan on following up with them, maybe releasing a bonus episode on the channel with them. But Sword and Sorcery is really cool because it's one of those things where they developed it where like you have your classes like from D&D, like the characters, a ranger, paladin, sorcerer. You know the archetypes of fantasy characters, right? And you actually have tiles that you put down on the NFC board. So as you play, if you discover a new room, you slide that tile off and and it tells you which room to put down that you've discovered. So there's a campaign to go through with these characters, but they've also recently unlocked a generative dungeon. So if like you came over and we're like, we don't want to do campaign, that's too heavy, let's just run a dungeon real fast. It'll actually just generate one for us based on the parameters we give it, which is really fun. So it was really cool to see all these characters interact. The game has it like, so my phone or we had shared one device, but every time it went to that if it went to your turn, it would show you all your abilities and their cooldowns and stuff like that. It was really cool. I took some photos. I'll share them later, but it was really fun to play at. They also got to play their other version called, which is Vampire the Masquerade, which is essentially, it's very much a tabletop kind of RPG game that controls. It's hard to explain because I'm not as familiar with the property. But the way the map worked, I think you saw the map for the Bad Karmas, Mike. It's very kind of basic, like, the boss moves around. Well, in Vampire, there is no bosses. You actually move smaller figures around a city, which I believe is somewhere in Italy, like Milan. and it's very fun to play. It's hard to explain right now because I'm just so run down from this, but hopefully I'll have more information later. But it was really cool to talk to them about the technology and the licensing and how they're building this stuff out, because one of the hardest things about games is like when you get a new game, like a big involved game, what do you have to do? Someone has to sit down and read the rules, right? So you can actually play.
Somebody has to fall on the sword of teaching everyone else. But also, you can't just teach it. You have to teach it good enough to make people actually want to play it.
Yeah. So the idea that their motto is over there. There's no rule book in the box. You just pick it up and play, and the game shows you the rules while you play, or like it teaches you while you play is awesome. So really love that, and I'm glad to be back. I got to run into some people. I missed some other people, but I do plan on going back next year. If not on the floor, at least to play games with everybody, because getting introduced to so many games that I would never have access to normally is really fun, and having people there who fell on that sword already, Mike, who know the rules, teach me along the way is that much more fun. So absolutely love it. Love Gen Con. Recommend it to anyone who's in the games, even if one day, not the full weekend. But yeah. Mike, what have you been up to? I feel like I haven't talked to him forever because I've been gone out of town since Wednesday.
Yeah, well, the wife and I are in this weird television lull right now, where it seems like surprise, since Hollywood has not been to work out here. It feels like there's nothing new to watch, or like we've watched everything that's already been put out. I put out a poll asking for people to send me recommendations, and I was just like sad to see like, oh, I've seen all of this stuff already. So we've been trying to dabble in other stuff. But surprise, surprise, there's a whole other side of entertainment. It's called movies. We always forget to watch. So we unlocked a nostalgia corner of our brains, which is the Final Destination movies, which they had a brand new film come out this year, which we totally forgot about. But Final Destination Bloodlines, my wife was really into this franchise back in the day, and I've seen like one or two films, and I thought it was fun enough. So we sat down and watched it the other night, and these movies are so much fun. I forgot just how crazy it is, even though like this person in this like set piece is going to die. You don't know exactly how. And they just ratchet the tension up, and they just like play with the audience. Like they know exactly what they're doing when they're writing these movies, and it's like so much fun. And then they know sometimes that what's going to happen, so they try their best to subvert your expectations. And when I finished the movie, I was like, what is it about this film? Like, what's the X factor of this movie to me compared to like, well, if I wanted to see somebody die in a gruesome way, there's lots of movies that do that type of thing, right? But I feel like what makes Final Destination a little bit more approachable for people is like there's no like killer, right? There's no murderer, there's no evil person that you're scared of that's like lurking around the corner. Like death is literally just invisible, following these people around. So you just are anticipating the next like Rube Goldberg machine to go off. And I think that's like very pleasing for our like simian brains. So I had a lot of fun watching Bloodlines. I kind of thought that maybe this was going to be like a movie that kind of tied some of the other movies together. So I was worried I was going to be like lost, because I don't really know the long-standing lore of this franchise, but that really wasn't the case at all. The Bloodlines is more of like an indication of this specific family in the movie. But yeah, had a great time. Go check out Final Destination Bloodlines. Chris, I don't know if you've dabbled in the franchise.
Not recently. Back when I was younger, obviously, right? Like everyone has that, oh my gosh, don't follow the truck with the logs on the back.
Oh yeah,
anxiety because of that.
That makes a fun cameo in this movie.
Yeah,
and it is crazy how culturally pervasive that was, because if anybody knows anything about Final Destination, they always bring up the log truck, which I find so funny because I think that's the second one. That's like in the sequel. That's not even part of the first one, I believe. So strong outing for the franchise. So go check out Final Destination Bloodlines. And then Chris, you'll be happy to know, finally finished watching Killer of Killers, the Predator animated movie, which it was hard for me not to think about when I watched the 4 and only episodes of Eyes of Wakanda over the weekend, because it was kind of like, oh, Eyes of Wakanda also could have just been
The same thing.
kind of stitched together into a movie. So kind of curious if maybe this is going to be more of a strategy going forward of like, oh, we can just pitch this as like one thing. We don't have to have people commit to episodes, or I don't know. But Killers of Killers was fun. I liked it. I didn't know it was directed also by Dan Trachtenberg. I knew he was involved, but I thought maybe he was just like just overseeing it while he worked on his like, you know, live action movies. But I was glad to see that he was a part of it, and some fun lore added to this Predator universe for sure. Kind of like some big spoilers at the end. I don't want to just like casually bring it up at the top of the show, especially since like Badlands isn't out yet. You know.
Well, Killer of Killers has been out for a long time. What, a month now?
I had no idea that's where the ending was gonna go. Yeah. Well, I guess there's like no spoilers, but there's like a post credit that like reveals some interesting things for the franchise.
June 6th, so 2 months as of right now. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about it later. If you want to, at the end of the show, we can talk about it now. Just to say, hey, spoilers. Jump to the next topic if you want.
No, I say just go watch it. I would recommend it, and then hopefully maybe we'll get around to talking about Badlands later this year.
Yep.
Whenever that comes out, I've already forgotten, and I'm kind of curious if any of this stuff in Killer of Killers is going to pop up in Badlands at all, or even
November.
Even if it's just kind of set it up in a way.
So that's kind of where I'm at. You know, this is essentially the biggest lore drop of Predators we've ever had in a movie. And I'll tell you that right now because you know, it says at the beginning of the Yacha Journal or whatever it is, mantra, maybe, whatever. The Yacha, that name has never been dropped officially in a movie or anything other than I think a comic book or a prose novel. So it was like the first time they ever brought it forward. And then also kind of why are the Predators being Predators? Like, why are they hunting? Is kind of revealed here a little bit. So I think we'll see some of it in Badlands, but I could see Dan Trachtenberg going towards a third movie that combines Prey, this, and Badlands into that third movie. Really culminating something big.
It's an interesting tightrope to walk too, because the Predator like language and communication hasn't really been overly translated in any of the movies like on screen. We kind of just understand their generic motivations, and that's kind of enough for us. So there's a part of me that's a little worried of just like, you know, the monster's a little bit more interesting the less you know.
Yep.
So I'm curious how he'll thread that neat. But it was good. I'm glad I ended up finishing it. So yeah, go watch Killer of Killers, and then stay subscribed. We'll talk about it later this year.
I will say out of the three, I just want to go and say the Samurai was the coolest one. Of the three, that's the one I gravitated towards. Out of the Viking, the Samurai, and the World War II pilot. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Samurai stuff.
Samurais are just cool.
and like it is, and I would love if they did a Predator game that went through these different eras. I would love to be playing that era in a Predator video game, because it made me think of like, obviously, like, you know, Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, and stuff like that in a Predator game would be wild. Like, how do you beat something chasing you like that? So it was really, really, really enjoyed that. Ready to get into some news? Ready to talk some stuff? Talk some talk, walk some walk.
Let's do it.
First and foremost, Sandman, the live action series based on Neil Gaiman's graphic novel, comic books, if you will, finally hit Netflix a couple weeks ago. And then also the last bonus episode, Death, The High Cost of Living, was released. So they did a bonus episode of the first season that was released later, and they just did one here. So Sandman is officially wrapped up on Netflix. And despite the accusations, truths, facts, I don't know where they sit with the Neil Gaiman being a crook bloke, as someone once said. You know, they actually, the showrunners had said like they already had planned to do 2 seasons anyway. Netflix has a history of canceling things anyway, so them having this ending done is actually pretty solid, right? We talked about that last week, 2 weeks ago, where Netflix just loves to cancel things before they get done.
Oh yeah.
So that's great. And also, a fun little interview after the fact. True or not, I don't know, but the showrunners said they toyed with the idea of bringing Robert Pattinson in as Batman in this, because for people who don't know, Sandman was set in the DC Comics universe when it was written and featured Batman and like Martian Manhunter and some other characters as like background characters, throughout the series.
That would have been interesting.
That's a hard no from James Gunn. That's like a James Gunn hard no, thank you. I think.
Yeah, I don't even think they probably could have got away with putting their own version of Batman. Actually, it would have been great if they could have found a way to do Batman without ever saying Batman.
Well, they never
show like a vague silhouette of his character or something.
So that's it. Like there's a funeral in Sandman, and that's where Batman shows up. So they wouldn't even have to say it's Batman, right? Kind of thing. I don't even think it was like visually or verbally said it's Batman. They just show it. So I would have loved to see that, like a little Easter egg that people go back and look for in the show. But yeah, that's fine. So if anyone interested in Sandman, I just want to get that out there because I forgot season 2 dropped and then didn't realize it was dropping in like slices like this. Going into Batman again because everything kind of fell together this week in a good way. So Batman, Tim Burton's Batman movies are returning to cinemas August 25th, Mike, for a one-day thing. I know we talked about August being a lull. This might be something we do. Go see Batman again in the theaters. Or I guess for the first time for me. I was too young to watch the other two. But according to Variety, there are 160 Dolby Cinema locations that will show this because it's been remastered in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos as well.
All right. I will only go rewatch it if they put it in the Sphere. I want them to outpaint and replace every background, just like they're doing with The Wizard of Oz.
Well, it's not that.
I want to see Tim Burton's Gotham and full 720 degrees.
Well, they could do it like that. The Matrix thing I keep showing you in LA, where they actually took the Matrix and extended it.
What are they calling it? Screen X?
No, it's not Screen X. This is actually something different.
What is it?
It's like immersive theater or something like that.
Yeah, there's so many new like screen technologies out there that I can't keep them straight. Like it was there's like those 4DX where the seat moves, and then obviously there's IMAX, there's 3D. Now there's like what you're talking about, which is like they just put screens on the wall. It's like not one continuous screen.
I don't know if it's screens or projectors, but yeah, it's essentially like the frame around the movie becomes some of the movie, or at least is static, like consistent with what's on the screen a little bit. It's not one for one, but it is a very immersive experience, if you will. But
they're not like adding, like they're not like extending the background of frame. They're just like putting extra pizzazz around it. Like if you had to like embed a YouTube video in like your PowerPoint presentation, like, oh, what fun background are you adding to your PowerPoint? Is kind of like the vibe I get from it.
Well, there's some video. Well, it's like the Matrix, like when they go into the Matrix and all the ones and zeros and shit go around you. They do have some animation, but like, sometimes it's just like, oh, it's just kind of here. But I think the Cosm is called Cosm, and I'm like, I would love to see this thing there if I could ever get over there.
So they need to find a way to mirror these experiences
in VR,
in like a VR headset.
I knew where your head was.
But they're gonna. I don't think they would ever do that because their whole business model is getting your butt in that seat and paying for it. So it would probably be cost prohibitive because I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't really want to pay for it in my VR headset.
Yeah, well, I think I would probably pay for the app that lets you get access to the movies and experiences because they're probably gonna do more than the Matrix, and do that stuff. So I think that's where I would say I'd live in that. But I think it's great. Tim Burton said he hasn't watched these movies since he released them, which I kind of believe. He's kind of a weird guy anyway. But he did watch them again when they remastered them in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. So I expect like maybe a home theater release with these upgrades, by the end of the year.
You're actually pitching something I really would want to watch. Find directors that haven't watched their own movies in a really, really long time and just sit them down and then they just record director commentary. That would be really fun to see them revisit it. I know Shia LaBeouf kind of did that like experimental thing where he rewatched all of his stuff.
Yeah, years
But
ago.
that was kind of more like a artistic thing. But yeah, I would love to just sit next to Tim Burton when he's like, "Oh, I remember doing this." Like,
Wait,
I
like,
assume every movie back then they were all on cocaine, so they're probably just like, "This is why I don't remember it. I was just on coke."
oh yeah, well, I think also like I don't want movies in the past 5 to 10 years. I want people who haven't
Oh
done
yeah.
like it's got to be over a certain time frame, right? Like, um, uh, so I think it'd be really really fun to kind of have that here. Like if they release this, like maybe that's why they did it. Maybe if they home release it, it'll have the commentary on it when he watched it with that stuff. Because that would be great. That's a good idea. All right, moving into Superman. Do you remember Mr. Handsome in Superman, Mike?
Oh, the weird Slender Man type.
Yeah, the
monster.
white alien-looking dude. Yeah, so Mr. Handsome was James Gunn revealed was Lex's first attempt at creating a human when he was 12. He couldn't do it the normal way with a girl. He had to actually do it in a petri dish. But that's where that guy came from. He's not like a Martian, a white Martian, or like anything else. That was like his first attempt. So that's why he's kept him around and has him pull the lever in the other universe.
It was a great visual signifier of like this little pocket dimension being like extra creepy. Like, oh, this isn't a safe place. You know, there's like really weird stuff happening here, and because you see, was it Mr. Handsome? Was that what you called him?
Yeah.
Yeah, like right away. He's like one of the first things you see when you go there. So,
and he's so unsettling with like his eyes and his like sharp teeth, and the fact to know that he was supposed to be a human is even worse. I think like you're like, oh, he wasn't supposed to look like this. This is an accident, kind of thing. So, yeah, check that. You can when you go back, you can find out that little tidbit in mind. James Gunn's also out here doing damage control, I guess, on not reels, was it Threads or something like that? Apparently, he said that the Teen Titans script that Anna Nogueira was working on, she was told not to finish the script and move over to Wonder Woman instead. This is also our time to say that the movie was never officially announced from DC Studios. It's just trades essentially reporting on things that are being worked on. So it may get picked up later, may get handed to another writer. Maybe she'll return after she's done with Wonder Woman. But it sounds like, that is off the table for now.
it's kind of interesting. I've never quite heard of a studio kind of using writers almost like they have like a bullpen of just talent that they like take on and off projects. I feel like that's kind of what you do with like a full-time employee of like a company, right? Of just like, oh, we're reprioritizing our schedule and projects. We now need to move you over to this. You're like, yep, okay, boss. Like usually like feature writers, they're kind of just like lone gunslingers in a way. Like you hire them for a project, they get it done. That's kind of like how the whole like Writers Guild is set up, and then they hop off the project and they go to find their next one. So I'm kind of curious if maybe there's some sort of new deals that are getting written over for Warner Brothers, or maybe this is just the only way that you can kind of stand up like a superhero franchise. You just have to have people ready and working all the time.
So I have nothing against Anna Nogueira. I think she did Supergirl as well, I'm pretty sure. Script. My concern is having one person write all of your movies I don't know is going to lead to new energy, new direction, new fun things, right, in the universe. So nothing against her. She may pull it off, absolutely. But I hesitate to say the same James Gunn and Anna Nogueira working on every DC project will give us any variation in the stuff that they're working on. Clayface, we know, has a different writer, a different story, different director, so maybe that could be interesting. But I it's just hesitation, not actual concern that this might lead to, not something that that your heart is in. If you're writing something you want to write, that's something different. But when you're being written something because they keep hiring you to just write movies for you, does that change the quality or the story at the end of the day? Because right, like you mean, it's like work. Like when you're just told to go somewhere, like, and it's not something you necessarily want to do. Is that, are you putting your heart into it? Are you doing the best you can when it's just a job? So I don't know. We'll see. But Teen Titans on the back burner, so that means you'll probably be getting more Teen Titans Go stuff. I don't even know if that show's still on. I just
I think it is. I don't have it on good. information, but I feel like they just keep making it.
I would love another Teen Titans Go to the Movies, like another theatrical experience, because that one just blew me away. Like like again, we've talked about, like, it shouldn't have been that fucking good, man. Like, it's wild. But looking up here, it is on season 9 and it is still going till present. So
wow, good for them.
Yep, still rocking and rolling. James Bond. They now have hired a writer, Stephen Knight, known for his work on Peaky Blinders, has been hired to write the script for the film. With Denis Villeneuve already hired a director earlier this year.
I feel like this is a really weird coincidence. I hardly ever think about James Bond, as we've said on this show before. Like, we're not the Bond heads, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're not the guys that you go to get like the hot takes on James Bond.
You won't find us in bondage, if you will.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But weirdly enough, I was thinking about James Bond this week, like just having like random shower thoughts. And we also kind of started dabbling with Peaky Blinders. It's streaming on Netflix. We're like 2 episodes in. Did you know Sam Neill is in Peaky Blinders? I had no idea. Like, Peaky Blinders like has like a roster. Like, I knew it was like a big show, but it was just a blind spot for us. Like, Sam Neill's in it. The guy who played Oppenheimer, what's his name?
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah,
like
he's in it.
Guy.
Like, yeah, I just keep waiting to see, like, oh, what's the next like big Hollywood star that I didn't know was in this show. So I'll report back. But I was thinking about Bond, and I was like, what is it that would get me interested in Bond personally? Because I feel like there's 2 ways you go. You go this route, which seems to be what they're doing, which is like, this is the smart but boring way to do it, right? The smart and boring way is you hire a good writer and you hire a good director, and then they'll probably make a good movie, right? But snooze, that's boring to me, especially for a person that's not super invested in James Bond.
How do you feel about Skyfall? Like, I think Skyfall had a good writer, a good director, and that's like a really great movie.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I always see people share frames of the cinematography for it, right? So it's like, it's great. It's beautiful, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't get like my motor running, right? There's so many, like, so much competition out there. I just kind of feel like the Spycraft movie, it needs like a shot of invigorate, like, it needs some sort of like adrenaline to it. And I felt like maybe Kingsman was kind of doing that for me, until like the quality of those movies just kind of like went off a cliff.
So do you think, though, Peaky Blinders is set in the early 1900s, right? It's a period piece. Do you think, is your second itch like if they do a period Bond, and that's what you think Chris, they're doing with this?
You're reading my freaking mind. I think there's 2 things that I would do personally. I think it would make a lot of Bond fans mad, but I don't care about them. I'm sorry. I know we have some Bond fans that listen to the show, but this is Mike's personal wish list for Bond. You're right. I want to go back in time. I'm thinking post-World War II, probably maybe late 50s, kind of into 60s, because that's, I feel like, when a spy is actually worth their weight in gold, right? Like, all Spycraft happening now is just, it's all going to be boring AI stuff, right?
Yeah.
We already kind of seen that with the last Mission Impossible movies and the Bond movies. It's like, it's all some mysterious black box computer that's like looking at everything on the internet, and they're going to blackmail you, and they're going to shoot off a nuke. It's like, there's no other fun thing to do with it, unless you have like maybe like a satellite in space with like a laser beam, and maybe it hacks into that. And I think I'm describing another like spy movie that I can't think of now. So like, all this stuff is done for. So you take it back in time to where you can have like more fun with like boots on the ground, because it's actually helpful. And like any sort of weird computer that exists, like it's like the size of like a factory, and like the way you solve it is by punching it, right? And then the twist would be alternate history, right? Because I feel like all of these spy movies all try to exist in our world. And if a spy does their job right, the general public doesn't see anything happen, right? Nothing's gone awry, the day has been saved. But I think like you do like a little bit alternate take on maybe something that happened maybe in like World War II or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like Germany didn't win, but maybe they didn't like fully lose, and like maybe they control like half of Europe or something. So like MI5 is like really, really important now, because like they're not just there like fighting like Cold War stuff, they're there of like, oh, we actually are still trying to finish the war that kind of stalled out, so they have to like sneak into like Germany, which is maybe like four
Uh,
times its size now.
I'm gonna reel you back in. Let's not get into war films. I don't think James Bond needs to be a war film. Let's
No,
reel you
the
back
war
in.
is over. Chris, listen, the war is
Oh,
over.
Lord.
It's done. The lines have been drawn. The war is done. But like Europe's not gonna like put up with that, so they're gonna like sneak in. They're gonna be doing some stuff behind the lines. That's my pitch. Like there was this Amazon show, I think it was based on a book. I totally forgot what it was called, but it was like an alternate history take on like what if the Axis powers did win World War II. But that was like a whole like global thing, and like you have to rewrite so much of history that it's almost like a fantasy show. So I'm saying like do a little bit of that show, like do a little bit of like take it back in time, make spies more important. I don't know. That's my take. We'll see if it happens, but I do like this. I didn't even think of the way through of Stephen Knight having like period writing piece. But
yeah,
I'm surprised we talked this long about James Bond. So
you did go off on a tangent here, so that's fine. We'll let you have
this
it.
is what it was, a legitimate shower thought. I was in the shower and I was just like, what do I think about?
But yeah, Stephen Knight, having the experience of Peaky Blinders, I think I agree that future state tech spying is not fun anymore. We need the old. It needs to be tangible. It needs to be real places. And it needs to be fun. So I think you could go back and do the period stuff. I'm not going to go back as far as say change everything. But, back when, it used to be about networking and globe hopping, to put it nicer than it actually. It's not womanized. We don't need womanizing like Sean Connery was. But, like, it needs to be, like, we're going to places and it means something to go to a place rather than we're just there to use the Wi-Fi.
I swear to God, if Stephen Knight makes James Bond drink a White Claw, it's over.
Mm-hmm. He'll have a High Noon these days. They're a little better, a little more refreshing.
Or it'll be like they're always like pushing these zero ABV like beers now, so it'll probably be like a non-alcoholic Heineken.
It's the THC. Is it going to be a THC seltzer? Shaken, not straight.
Yeah.
But anyway, Denis Villeneuve is currently filming Dune Part 3 or Dune 3. I don't know if it's a Part 3 or 3, so I put Part 3. So he'll probably pick that up. They have plenty of time to work on the script and not push this out the door. So we'll keep you guys posted. Just a reminder, last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer that leaked before Fantastic Four, before aired in front of Fantastic Four. It also didn't debut online until Monday of this week after Fantastic Four had been out for the weekend. So if you had not got a chance to catch that because you didn't go see Fantastic Four, you should. We recommend it. You can watch the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer here in our show notes. We have a link for you to watch.
Yeah. Chris, I don't know. Did you have it? Was it in front of your screening for Fantastic Four?
Yeah. It was the last one before the movie started.
Yeah, I noticed the lights went down because I was anticipating the trailer. I really wanted to watch it in the theater. And then like the last trailer played and the lights started going down. I was like, oh man, we didn't get the Fire and Ash trailer. And then like we got it. And I was like, oh, it's like attached to the movie. Yeah. It's like they cut it into the reel. Like this one is part of Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rachel leaned over and she was like, "Oh, they're making a third one." I'm like, "Yeah, and a fourth and a fifth one." So buckle up, we got more to watch.
They get 20 minutes longer every time they make a new one too.
So I think this is the one where they took a pause in filming to let the kids age up a bit as well because they filmed this with the second one. So I'm excited to see where everything goes. Mm-hmm. Switching into Marvel, we got Marvel stuff for the rest of the episode. Going Eyes of Wakanda. I have not been able to watch this. It dropped on Monday because I've been gone. Mike, you've seen it, but we do have the first trailer last week to show it off, and all 4 episodes are now on Disney Plus, and it also features. You watched all of them or just the first one? Okay. The thing that that's hitting headlines is that this is the first MCU's Iron Fist. In terms of era that we've seen, and also, if they don't bring Danny Rand over, that's fine with me. But this is the one that's showing there, and I think that's pretty cool that they were kind of able to dive in to characters that we haven't seen yet and pull them in because Iron Fist is a mantle, right, handed down the powers. Handed down over
it was
time.
Great for me because I didn't know, or if we had ever talked about it on the show, I totally forgot that like the Iron Fist was going to make its appearance. So kind of popped up in the episode I was watching. I was like, oh, hey, that's like a fun little tidbit. I won't spoil anything, but the show is kind of like there's like a weird learning curve to it in a way of I feel like I've been primed with a lot of CG animated Marvel already to kind of know what to expect in a way of like where they take the violence, how the animation looks, and kind of what tone they're setting. And I feel like I had to re-ground myself with Eyes of Wakanda because they do this thing in like the very first episode where there's some pirates invading a town, and there's this guy defending the town, and he has like this axe, right? And they do this very Saturday morning cartoon thing where it's like, well, they're not going to show him like cutting people with the axe. So they kind of like show like the hits off screen, or like he's hitting people with like the hilt or the butt of the axe. So I was like, oh, is this like meant more for like kids? Like, who is the audience for? And in that same episode, they like literally show like a different like hatchet embedded in somebody's like forehead, and they like show it. I was like, what am I watching here? I don't understand if this is supposed to be a mature take on Wakandan history or what. So that was kind of a weird thing to try to figure out. And the animation, I don't know if this was a stylistic choice or what. I mean, everything looks beautiful. They have a lot of like background paintings, establishing shots that look beautiful. In the credits, they show off some concept art that looks great. But some of the animation felt like I was watching some of those more like How to Train Your Dragon animated TV shows where like everything kind of felt kind of like weird and like lemmy and like stretchy and a little like goofy, even though I was supposed to be taking it seriously. But I'm glad I stuck with it. They kind of bring all of the storylines back together in the fourth episode and kind of expand on the lore of Wakanda a little bit, but this definitely isn't required watching.
Yeah.
Like you don't go out of your way and stress if you can't give this one a watch. I just happen to have like a free 2 hours on a Saturday, which is very rare for me. So if the stars didn't align this weekend, I honestly probably never would have watched this. So I mean, if you just kind of want to get to like maybe the fun bits of the you could probably just maybe watch like the last episode, but yeah, so I would say above average reception for Eyes of Wakanda.
All right, moving on to Black Panther. I have nothing to say. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to listen to it, so we're going to go to the next one. So Black Panther 3 is rumored to be taking the February 18th 2028 slot for Marvel. So that is production to start early 2027 and then bring it back up there. Black Panther 2 was Chadwick Boseman dying, and also a pandemic movie that fell in November. But the first Black Panther was, obviously historically in that first February slot. So this makes sense to bring it back around for that, for the third outing.
This will be
post Doomsday.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the rebuilding era, the restructuringism of the MCU. I'm curious how this will fit in. I mean, I think I'm looking forward to kind of going back to a proper kind of mantle for Black Panther. It seemed like they tried to establish a new hero in the second one, and it seems like it didn't really make much impact. So I'm curious for them.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just go against that and say none of the Marvel Phase 4 and 5 stuff made any impact at all to begin with.
That's true, yeah.
So I can't say it's Black Panther's fault, but obviously none of that has really stuck or landed.
Man, look, Chris, can you? Yeah. I never would have imagined this. You have always been the kind of optimist, defender of and then even this phase has eventually wore you down to where I feel like you may have always felt it in the back of your head, but now you're saying the quiet part out loud.
Well, it's not even that.
You've joined me.
It's one of those things where I've said this before, and I put it here, but it's like we can't wait forever between sequels. I get sequels, whether you love them or hate them. If you're going to have a character show up, you can't wait forever. I'm gonna go like Shang-Chi, right? Shang-Chi 1, like very well received movie, made decent amounts of money. Where's our second one? That should have been like the first priority. once that
Yeah.
like what came out. Like you should have got a second one by now.
You bring up a great point because we were just casually rewatching Iron Man just this morning, the first one. I hadn't seen it in so many years, and the first one ended. We're like, all right, we're cooking now. Let's throw in Iron Man 2. And I was like, oh yeah, how many years was it in between these movies? I feel like was Iron Man 2 like just before or after Avengers? Like my timeline was totally off in my head, and I look it up, and I was like, oh, this was just 2 years later.
Yeah.
And then I look up, I was like, oh, and then you get to see Robert Downey Jr. again in 2 years in Avengers, and then like 2 years later in Iron Man
1 year.
3. So it's just, oh, it was one. Okay, so it's even faster. So it's like you bring up like, yeah, it like you find a character you like, and like you get to see them again soon. And it's just like, yeah, I love Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, and he's just out there evaporated in the ether.
Yeah, and again, I'm not. It was a business, a corporate mandate from the higher ups, right? We all know that story by now. So you can't react as quickly when you're making more. But it's like what that, finally in Thunderbolts we got to see Yelena, right? Her payoff after Black Widow and Hawkeye, because people love her. She's a great character. Like how many people talk about her and all the stuff she is. And they got that in Thunderbolts finally. We haven't Black Panther 2. We should have had a Black Panther 3 by now. Just to get it done. Maybe now I don't think there's no problem to solve, but the multiverse could have had some really cool things with like different Black Panthers, because they also have like their spirit realm they deal with. Would have been great to see. But like we should have had some of this done. Doctor Strange 3 should have been out by now. So it's just really, it's not disheartening, but I'm like, get your priorities straight, get your good stuff in, get them done, move on to the next one, right? Find your next one and get them out, like kind of thing. So hopefully we'll see something this way. Black Panther 3 could be part of a rebuilding phase. I also would not be surprised, Mike, if it is the last, maybe like a coda for the multiverse saga, right? To have Black Panther 3 end everything off there, because it would be essentially a nice farewell as well. I don't want to start phase 5 or the rebuilding saga, the X-Men saga, whatever they want to call it, with a farewell movie or a trilogy ender, because I feel like that's a bad way to start, is with a 3. Look how Iron Man 3 turned out, right? It started phase 2 and it really didn't I don't think it hit the ground running when it did. So opportunities, but we'll keep you guys posted. Though I guarantee you, San Diego Comic-Con next year, we will have a very well painted picture of what Marvel's new plan of attack is with their movies. So knock on wood. Moving on to Avengers Doomsday, again filming right now. The rumor is X-Men characters will be pulling from their X-Men 97 looks, including they very specifically said Cyclops in the Jim Lee's base blue and yellow outfits that we all know him from.
Chris, I just sent you that picture yesterday of I was on Disney Plus, as we just said, going through the multiversal saga category that they have up on there, and Spider-Man was in there, but my second picture never attached. It never sent. The X-Men 97 show, the reboot, a continuation, is also labeled as multiversal saga. And I guess technically, if you really think about it, literally anything can be in that category, because a multiverse is an infinite number of possibilities in a way. But it did make me wonder of just like, maybe there is maybe some intention of maybe springboarding some of these characters into live action, but I don't know. But it's smart. Everybody loves those iconic costumes, so at least reference them.
Yeah, well, and how long have we had the black leather outfits, right, from the Fox era? So to bring those forward, we did get Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, right, finally, and that worked out really well. I had no complaints against that. So hopefully we get to see some of those classic looks on these characters. But also, speaking of X-Men, Marvel is looking to cast lesser known actors and actresses for the lead roles to reduce costs overall, which makes sense because as we've seen this year, even with Superman and Fantastic Four doing really, really well at the box office, they're not guaranteed $1 billion movies anymore. That's just the future state, and that's how things are right now. Probably will be for at least till Spider-Man. Spider-Man seems to be $1 billion franchise despite the odds, but I think that's a global thing rather than a local thing.
I feel like a lot of people maybe who are anti-superhero movies just think they see these headlines of just like, oh yes, it's finally over, superhero fatigue, they're not going to make any more of these. But this is like drilling for oil in a way of like, they're going to keep doing it until it's no longer cost effective, and then they'll just find a way to make it cost effective. So yeah, like these movies are still generating a lot of money.
They're profitable,
but they're just the budgets are just too high. So they just have to find a way to bring the budget down. And I'm sure there's some like, producers over there that are like, oh, we're going to do it with AI. And then there's maybe some more old school producers like, no, we'll just find cheaper people. And I'd probably be a little combination of both, actually, in reality. But I mean, they're filming all of these movies like over in London now. So they're getting like, I think like, what, 30 to 40% just slashed off the budget from the government over there. I guess from the royal purse. So yeah, I mean,
well,
it would even trim.
Well, I would even say that like the thing is, if you use seasoned actors, what's it called, ramp, when they get paid more for more films over time. You get a Robert Downey Jr., you get a Chris Evans, you get a Chris Hemsworth. That keeps going up and up and up. The costs keep going up and up and up. Your return goes down and down and down. So by doing this, they can start low, and then if the movie does well, they can continue to go upwards, right? Until they cap out, then restart.
And even if they were still making billions of dollars on these movies, this was probably going to be a strategy for X-Men anyway, right?
Yeah.
You got to bring in fresh faces. You got to sign them for like 15-year contracts so they can stick around. And you can't really afford that if you start famous already,
Right, exactly. And there's like, some baggage when you have actors who I'm sure the villain and Professor X, or whoever's Magneto probably, and Professor X will be known actors, but the actual X-Men themselves will not be at the core of it, or at least lesser known actors.
I wonder if they consider Joseph Quinn, who was just Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four. I wonder if they consider him like a new / cheap actor, because he was, like elevated from his role in Stranger Things, but before that, he wasn't really super super known. Or are they talking about like total unknowns, like when like Disney's like casting like Moana, where they're just like, oh, we're literally just bringing in girls off the street in Hawaii to cast this character.
I don't think it'll be that far. I mean, there might be, but I really doubt that. I think there'll be people with something under their belt, probably more artsy films, or like some things that didn't do well, but got some award nominations probably along the way. So, but again, I still feel the older characters will be people we know, just to have some grounded, like, oh, I feel comfortable knowing who these people are in the movie. Moving on, lastly, the Spider-Man Day, apparently a thing. Didn't know this. Caught me off guard so much that I actually happened to be awake when a video dropped, I think it was Thursday or Friday, from the official Spider-Man social channels that says Spider-Man brand new day and something new, brand new is coming. And it's essentially an 8-second video clip of a Spider-Man suit, Mike, with a very light, tone of the Spider-Man music from the MCU, and got very excited because anytime we get to see a new Spider-Man outfit, Mike, I get excited about that, because that means production is coming, and I'm just gonna go and get the next one, because literally 24 hours later, the same channels did another video with Tom Holland himself coming out of onto a studio, because you can see the track from the dolly cam. He's jumping around, limbering himself up, comes up to the camera and says, what does he say? Like, let's
Are
go.
we ready? Maybe or
Yeah,
let's go. Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and he's in a his Spider-Man blue and red suit that he's gonna be filming in, and obviously confirms again that Spider-Man Brand New Day is under production right now, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Tom Holland must be grinning from ear to ear because I'm realizing just now because they're definitely shooting some sort of European English city as doubling as New
It's
York.
Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay. And I keep forgetting that like Tom Holland is from across the pond, so he just it must be nice knowing that like, oh, I can just like if I have a day off, I can just like zip back home and like hang out with my family. So he must be really happy. And also like we're talking about scale for actors. Like what is this, his like 100th outing as Spider-Man right now?
Yeah.
He must be having very thick wallet
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah, that's Sony's problem.
Yeah, that's true. But the suit reveal is like it's kind of driving me crazy, but also like a little hysterical to me because like everyone is just like going like crazy, like oh my god, like what can we pull from this suit? Like what is like the deep
Who are you
meaning
talking to? Because I
of
don't
it?
even see that on the channels I live in.
Oh, I see it like I see it everywhere on
Yeah.
Threads. Like the algorithm is giving me all of the most intense feelings for this suit. People are very excited, right? But I feel like I just said, this is like if you add in all of the Spider-Man, this is like the millionth outing of Spider-Man. So when I see it, I go, "Hey, yeah, that looks like a Spider-Man
Yeah,
suit."
well-
But then, some more eagle eyes go like, "Oh, this actually kind of looks like maybe took inspiration from Toby and Andrew." And I was like, I can see that. Okay.
Well, I would also say most people on Threads probably don't look at this shit like we do every week. Anyway, so let's give them a little credit. This might be their first time seeing it and looking up close. But there are two different suits in these videos. So the one Tom's wearing is essentially what I assume is the one from the end of No Way Home, right? With the red and blue that he's swinging in, which is great because that felt very CG. I don't think he was in that suit. I think it was a full CG sequence. This is him in an actual suit. Great. The one we got with the close-up is a different suit because when you get to the front of it, it shows like the spider in the end of it. That spider and where the legs are, they're wider. The suit's raised. The legs are the whatever that latex webbing is across the suit, and the legs go together as the same color. The one he's wearing, it's much darker in the middle. There's not as much webbing on there, it looks like. So they are different, but with any good superhero movie, they always get new suits, right? Everybody gets. Spider-Man had Far From Home, he had the black suit that was inside out, the regular one he started with. Did he have the Iron Spider suit at some point? I think when it started, maybe as well, and then they took it away, and then he built his own at the end, kind of deal. So Spider-Man always has different suits, and that's the beauty of him. He like how can you just throw on another Spider-Man suit, which is really really cool. So I enjoy seeing this, and then obviously the little detail here. So you guys get to see that first. We have a link for all of this below. Next up, they're filming on set right now, and I have a photo. We have photos of Tom Holland doing stunts in this fake New York with and without the mask on. So it's actually, I assumed they would CGI his mask, Mike, like they've done historically, right? Like where the mask is just like it's someone's wearing dots or it's a stuntman. But him actually wearing the suit and the mask on him as a person looks kind of normal. Like it looks like like it doesn't look weird. Like they had to like change it in any way.
The funniest part of this to me is I purchased a morph suit 1 year for Comic-Con so I could go as a spider character. And all of your wildest dreams of portraying a superhero all kind of go down the drain when like, oh, I just want to breathe. So you unzip the zipper in the back of your mask, which means just like this picture, the mask kind of like falls in front of your neck. So once you sit down in a chair, you start to get choked because everything tightens up. And ever since I've experienced that, I've noticed like in every Spider-Man like animated or live action show, like the mask is always like a separate component or it falls backward. It's almost like a hoodie that gets pulled up from the back and over the front. So it is kind of interesting that this is like actually, if you made the costume, it would lay in the front. And he's serving looks in this photo too.
Yeah.
So I feel like he is trying to be screen ready. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really curious. Is this really going to be how the suit is portrayed on the screen?
I
The
could also
mask just falls.
see him just CGIing over this whole goddamn thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like yeah, this is what it looks like, but we're getting more. One of the interesting things on this, and I think I might have had it in the notes here, he's got new web shooters. Notice he's got these big clunky silver web shooters. He doesn't have the Stark ones anymore. So like yeah, this is back to his basics. No one knows who he is. He's got to do it on his own. This suit looks This suit looks like a, like you said, what the bodysuit or whatever that someone would buy or make themselves. So he is operating probably cheaply and cheaper than he has before, and it's fun to see that kind of in this. So check out those web shooters if you want in those images. Also, we have a video of them of him, Tom Holland, doing the splits on a tank on this. Rumor has it this tank is Frank what oh my god, Castle's tank. That the Punisher is in this tank, and this is him fighting Spider-Man's trying to stop Frank from running a tank down the streets in New York.
I love that.
So,
because what on earth would Frank Castle need a tank for?
Kill him.
It's just funny.
Yeah. The rumor is, if you want to know the rumor, that it has to do with the Scorpion, because Michael Mando is confirmed to return as the Scorpion from Spider-Man Homecoming as a villain in this movie officially. And Mark Ruffalo will officially return as the Hulk in this movie as well.
Yeah, and that's official. That's why you got to subscribe to Superhero Slate, because we were reporting on that weeks ago.
I said a month. I think it was like February where we started talking about this. So
yeah, that he was in the mix. So it's kind of fun that this is how there still seems to not be a strategy at Marvel yet of giving the Hulk his own movie. Whether or not that is legally feasible, we don't know, because we're not lawyers. But I mean, this does sound pretty crazy, right? You know, because I believe this has been pitched as street level Spider-Man in the streets of New York, which we've yet to really see in any of his other movies. Really, the most we ever saw him was in Infinity War, when he was fighting Squidward for a brief minute there.
He fought actually the bigger one with the hammer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Black Dwarf. He fought the other one whenever he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of that movie Aliens?" And then he was like, "What?" And then shot him out to space.
Yeah. So it'll be kind of interesting to go like, okay, there's gonna be a Hulk on the streets, Punisher, tank, and he's gonna swing around. This sounds like a really fun mission in the Insomniac Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it.
I keep seeing the Scorpion from the Insomniac games as like the art when they're like Scorpions in Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the one you keep sharing, so stop doing that. We don't know how he's gonna have abilities or if he even has abilities yet. So
honestly, this movie is shaping up to be how we always talk about these MCU movies, right? When they start to get cooking and they start to filming and the rumors swirl around, we're always just like, oh my God, who's going to pop up in this movie? Who's going to be in it? This person's going to make a cameo. This is going to make a cameo, because we're always thinking like best case scenario of like sandbox with your action figures. Like they're literally telling us right off the bat, no, we're going to do that. This is a Spider-Man movie, but you're going to get Hulk in it. You're going to get Punisher. You're going to get Scorpion. There's probably going to be other characters. So this is shaping up to be pretty sick. And Spider-Man has yet to let us down in the MCU. Anytime he's ever made an appearance in a movie, the movie has been great. So I have no reason to not look forward to them.
I agree as well. Like this is like, I don't know if we talk about like in the 90s, if I sat down and picked up a Spider-Man comic book, this is what it feels like. They're finally taking a comic book to live action. And that is going to be wild to see all these characters pay off in the end and how it kind of comes together. So I don't know very much, but they are filming, which is why they probably put the suit videos out so they have official looks before the paparazzi got Spider-Man on set, which made Spider-Man Day an official thing, I guess. So, oh well. But I'm very excited for this. We have a lull, I think, in superhero movies until Supergirl next year. and then Spider-Man. I think there was something else in there, but I'm very excited and thrilled to do that. On the other side, I got my Thunderbolt Steelbook in, Mike, so I get to watch it on the theater before it hits Disney Plus eventually. Nice. But yeah, that's it for the show. Anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it, folks. Like Chris said, we are in this gap before we get our next big movie, Avatar. I don't know if Chris has plans on seeing it. I think I kind of forced you to go see the last one. I don't remember. I feel like it was against your will.
Which
but
one?
I'll definitely be doing it again. Avatar: Way of Water.
No, we went and saw it in theaters. I really loved it. We owned it on Steelbook.
Man, this gets confusing. I feel like I can't keep track of who likes these movies anymore.
I even have been trying to pitch people at my office to rewatch or to watch the second one because I don't care for the first one. The first one is not my jam. I think I watched a recap rather than watching that movie because I'm not going back to one. 2 was fantastic. It blew me away. Had no right to be that good. Hopefully James Cameron continues his trend by surprising us in the sequels and gives us something really good with this.
We gotta spread the gospel and not let the erasure of the good kingdoms of Pandora go away. So we are doing the oh god, what's their tree called? Like what's their god? I think they have a couple different gods, but I can't remember what their tree is called.
Yeah, it's not Gaia. What is it called? Avatar god. No, that's the Tree of Souls. Awa. Is it Awa?
Awa, yes. We are doing Awa's work here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think knowing that Avatar 2 and 3 were filmed at the same time and done at the same time, 2 being as good as it was, 3 should be just as good, right? Like you're not gonna be like one's good, one's really shitty, and put them out. So, and they've had years to work on them. So cross our fingers. But people know more about what you're doing, what you're up to, where can they get you at?
Oh, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, people want to catch up with you. Where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems of the same name. If people want to know more about our show, what we could do every week, go listen to our reviews of Superman, Fantastic Four. Where can they get all them goodies at?
Oh, all you got to do is head on over to superheroslate.com. You'll find the best filming tax credits there. If you want to shoot a movie on our domain, we'll give you like 100% off. We'll just let you do it for free.
That's right.
Superheroslate.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love listening or watching podcasts, because I guess that's what people do now. I have a feeling even when people watch podcasts, they're still like just putting them in the corner of their screen and really only listening to them. So if you want to put us in the corner of your screen, we are on the internet. You can get merch at superheroslate.com/store. And we love hearing from you. Did you watch Eyes of Wakanda? Are you excited for the Spider-Man movie? Do you hate Avatar or love it? What side are you on? Let us know. We love hearing from you. And we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of this show, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.